Shana Tova? What's that?
You're good?
I'm good?
You're good.
I'll let you decide that after I'm done. Yeah, I'm fine. It's having the fam over and all the little kids running around and cooking all day, and I'm ready. I can do it.
I'm sure.
Hey, you.
Hey,
What's up? Are we using them?
Yeah. So yours is there.
We're not using that one.
Well, it's that one too, but Dave gets better sound. Good ways. When I put this on, it makes me want to use my Joel Osteen voice. The Lord wants nothing but prosperity for y'all. Check, check.
Hey, David.
Shana Tova, am I a little too loud? No? I'm going to begin tonight with a poem by Darrell Hafter. It expresses why it is that we begin the new year at a time where we're entering autumn rather than entering spring. She writes, "Who would have thought to find beginning in an end? A new year when the crops have come, the flowers turn to seed, the welcome green now shed upon the ground in gold and red. Why not a new year in the spring, whose yearning promise leads us on without a thought, the very kernel yet to burst into maturity? Why not a song of mourning when we mourn? Is it another ending in it, if not? When fullness withers down from cheer and robust life like spent apples in a sack? It is our task to gather up the seed, to hold our faith beyond the barren soil, to celebrate, to plant, to find beginning in an end." The service begins tonight on page 5. Please rise.
Baruch et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach, leolam va. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, leolam avoed.
And we are seated. We continue on page 5 down the page as we continue heading into the notion of the darkness falling and starting our beginning at the end of a day.
El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, baruch ata Adonai, amari v'aravi.
Amen. Page 6, we prepare for the Shema.
Ve'avatcha al tasir mimen le'olamim, baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'yavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol me'odecha, v'ayu hadvarim ha'eleh. Asher Anochi mitzavcha hayom alavavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'berartam
בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך וישערך.
We continue silently on page 7. And remember, we're so fortunate to have the Machzor Lev Shalem peruse the readings on the sides of the page. You can actually go ahead a few pages and look at readings. You can go back a few pages and enjoy the readings to get into the mood of the holiday. We continue down the page silently.
Adonai lechem emet.
Ve'emunah kol zo v'kayam aleinu.
Umalchuto v'ratzon kiblu alehem Moshe u'Miriam u'Bnei Yisrael L'chanu shira v'simcha rabba v'amru cholam v'chamocha ba'elim Adonai v'chamocha neda b'kodesh norati lo sefer malchutcha Baruvanecha v'keyam lifnei Moshe Zeli anuvim amru Adonai yimloch le'olam ha'ed V'ne'amar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov v'lo mi'ad chazak mimeno baruch ata Adonai Ga Yisrael.
Continue on page 9. Shkivenu l'shalom.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch ata Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim.
Page 10. Tikuva chodesh shofar b'kesel liyom chagenu ki chok Yisrael hu mishpat le'Elohei Yaakov. Sound the shofar on our feast day on the new moon and when it is hidden, for it is Israel's law, a decree of the God of Jacob. Here on page 10, we're preparing for the Silent Amida. We're going to get some of the normal Amida and a few of the themes of Rosh Hashanah with V'chein, as well as other little pieces in the margins and throughout. So I ask everyone to rise, enjoy the melodies of High Holy Days, get them into your thoughts to accompany, for those who are comfortable rising and for whom that is an appropriate position to channel the Kadosh Baruch Hu in your tefillah. And to take the melodies, let them form a little bit of part of your consciousness. My thoughts in Amidot always relate to the voice and the melodies of whoever led us in the davening. And so let the sounds and the melodies shape your thoughts as we head into this beautiful holiday of Rosh Hashanah.
Yikara, Yikara, Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Yamad Yivrach Yerotei V'yamich Malchutei V'chayechon U'gomechon U'v'chayerecho Beit Yisrael B'agala U'bizman Akari V'mero Amen Yehesh Shmei Rabba Mevorach Li'olam U'lam Be'elam Hayayit Barach Yishtabav Bifar, Vidroman Vinase, Vidadavid Live Shmegutcha, Richu, Leila, Vinko Bechata Vishirata, Tush Bechata, Benechemata, Damiran, Biama,
Silent Amida extends from pages 11 through 17, where you could close your eyes and think of what is one crazy project that you want to start in the new year. As people conclude their prayers, but keep praying as long as you want to, we're on the bottom of page 16.
Sefer Chaim Beracha V'Shalom Ufarnas Tova Nizacher V'Nikater Lefanecha Anachnu V'cha Amecha Beit Yisrael L'chaim tovim u'l'shalom Baruch atah Adonai Osei HaShalom.
Amen. Page 19.
Yikadal v'yikadash Shemir Rabban.
Amen.
V'amad divrei chirutei v'amichmachotei v'chayirchon uv'yomechon v'chayirchol Beit Yisrael ba'agalav v'zman k'v'riv imru.
Amen.
Yishmer Rabban mevorach le'olam olam ve'hamayah.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipor v'yitmar v'yinaseh v'yidar v'yinalev v'yinalashmir kudsha.
Brichu.
Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tush birchata v'nechamata daviram v'yoma v'imru. Amen. Tikabel tzolchon v'ochon d'chol Yisrael kodam avuhuni v'shmai v'imru. Amen. Yesh lama rabba min shemai v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imrom avu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen. We turn to we're going to turn to page 25 for Aleinu. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'chol
Latet gedula liotzer breshit.
Shelo asanu kegoye haratzot v'lo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama Shelo sam chalkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechamonam K'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim Lifnei melech Malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu noteh shamayim v'yoser haaretz U'moshev yikaro b'shamayim imal U'shkinatu zo v'govhei meromim U'Eloheinu Eihod Emet Malkeinu Efesulato Kakato betorato V'yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim v'shamayim im'al v'yaretz v'tachadenu Kagatu b'toratecha lo yimloch lilam v'evenemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo
We may be seated except for those who are reciting the Mourner's Kaddish. You're with me on page 26. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah v'yalma divrach kirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru Yehe Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei amaya Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei D'Kudesha le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Yehe Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. And a little while later, we will do Kiddush. I just like to save it a little for like more dramatic ending. You're like, where's Kiddush go? We won't forget it. And because I got you some really hard to drink wine, and I want to watch you drink it. Shana Tova, everybody. It's good to be together with you, gathering here in the sanctuary, and those who are streaming the service to start their holiday on this Rosh Hashanah. It feels remarkable to be gathering again. I know that we've been in person for services for far over a year and a summer, but to gather for the High Holy Days, it feels like a true new beginning. Will you join me in a Shechianu? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu Vehigianu lazman hazem. Yehuda Amichai, an incredible Israeli poet, has a poem called The Eve of Rosh Hashanah, and I'm going to read part of the poem right now. The eve of Rosh Hashanah, Erev Rosh Hashanah, at the house that is being built, a man makes a vow. Remember, this is the time that we're making vows. We'll be released from our vows from last year coming up, and it's kind of complicated. But this is the time of vows, New Year's resolutions. What is it that we are vowing to do? How are we going to fix parts of ourselves? How are we going to be soaring in the new year? Erev Rosh Hashanah, at the house that is being built, a man makes a vow not to do anything wrong in that house, only to love. Sins that were green last spring dried out over the summer, and now they are only whispering. What is a human? In the daytime, we untangle into words what during the night coils around us. What do we do to one another? A child to their parent, parent to their child. Whoever uses people as handles or as rungs of a ladder will soon find themselves hugging a stick of wood and wiping his tears with a potsherd. We are gathering again, and this is healing. And the teaching, brief, because what I really want tonight is to listen to some singing and to eat some dessert with you, is a teaching that has always stuck me my whole life. You may well know it. It's a rabbinic teaching, and it goes like this. When a natural calamity strikes a Jewish community, and people are gathering after the storm to find what there is to eat and where there is to sleep and what shelter they can take, and there is only a small ration, a small number of cushions and good soft blankets and pillows, who do you decide should get the comfy blankets and the comfy pillows? And if people are walking in the mud, but there are still a few carriages, who gets to ride in the carriages as they move from difficulty to safety? And the rabbis answer, those who before the calamity were accustomed to their privilege. They were accustomed to the soft mattresses. They were accustomed to the soft fabrics, to the pillows, and they were accustomed not to be walking in the mud. And this teaching has always bothered me, and I always hesitate to share it in Hebrew school. Sometimes when I'm desperate for a teaching and we have 10 minutes left, I share it, and I know they're all going to disagree with it, and isn't that what Hebrew school is, right? Where you share a great Jewish teaching, and they're like, yeah, it's totally wrong, and it's time for recess. But I think about it now, in the period after the calamity that has struck all of us. Because while so much of the year, so much of Torah, so much of we're doing as a Jewish community revolves around helping lift up the downtrodden. That's why we pray it 3 times a day, and we think about it all the time, and the Torah speaks so much of it. During the 10 days of awe, we are, in my opinion, required to see ourselves as the one who is downtrodden. Even those of us who experience great privilege have a right to acknowledge, in fact, a requirement during these days, to break our hearts open to God and to acknowledge where we suffer, where we hurt, where we are in need of mending. As Melville says in Moby Dick, we are all terribly cracked about the head and in need of mending. As I mentioned in the video that Deborah and I circulated, so many of you opened and sent kind regards back to us. During the High Holy Days, and particularly on Yom Kippur, we're required to examine ourselves in a state of aninut, in a state of affliction, to help us become more anava, help us to become greater in our humility. But there's no way to really know where we're supposed to change in our lives unless we know where we're hurt, where we're a little bit broken, what pieces of our vehicle we need to fix. And aninut, this term, is used in Jewish law to describe the period after someone has died, but before you bury them. And I usually translate it, it's on our website, as shock. I think many of us are still in a state of shock from the past 2 years. We've been holding up very brave faces. Some of us who go to work, we've been holding up the brave face that it's okay, we know it's short-staffed, we know yet again when we go, there are 3 people out and I just got my break, but now they're calling me back. Don't worry, I'm going to soldier on. This is what I dedicated my profession to. I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse. Actually, it could be anywhere. In families, don't worry, I know that you don't have the childcare you need. I'm going to come, I'm going to move there, I'm going to help take care of the kids. Don't worry about me, I'll be fine. People who have not been able to feel safe in going out and gathering with other people. And they say, don't worry about me, I'm doing fine, things are better than they used to be. And we put up the brave face. I think we're still in a state of shock. And what comes after shock? What comes after this period of affliction in the cycle of Jewish law? Shiva. And I think about what Shiva is. You don't ask, what's one of the rules of Shiva? We're teaching it to the kids now in the middle school here. You're not allowed to say to someone, how are you doing? Because everybody knows when you say, how are you doing, you don't mean it. And to ask someone who is afflicted, who's really wounded, who's really in shock, how they're doing, it's not fair. So what do? Well, you bring them food and you gather with them because being near them is so important. And if you feel there's a space for it, you sit next to them and you listen. You simply listen. Whatever they want to talk about, you listen. You don't rush in to share your experience. You wait until they're finished saying theirs. It's the greatest gift that we can give, is our presence to hear each other's stories. And we've been missing that. And then it is your turn. You need to tell your stories. And you need to find the people to gather with who will listen. I believe this synagogue, can be a place for that exchange. I think this day, in many ways, is a beginning of a new year, of gathering to hear each other's stories, to give people a chance to come out of the shock by saying, I'm not sure how I feel, as one would say to Shiva. I'm not sure how I feel, but this is what I'm feeling now. I'm not sure how to gather up the pieces of the timeline I've just lived and put it into words, but it's a little bit of this. Over this Rosh Hashanah, over these 10 days of awe, I invite you to explore the shock within you as your affliction. It's as effective as fasting. And to think about, what have you been carrying that you haven't been able to say, that you've been too brave to share? And how can you be the listener to others? Could you, as we were talking about earlier this year, maybe even just jump on Zoom on whatever the day of your birthday is in the month? It's my latest idea. I thought it was silly until someone told me they're doing it, and they felt it was very rewarding. So if you were born on the 13th of September, that the 13th of October and November and December, jump on Zoom Minion, or come in person if we're in person that day. And be the person, your role is there. It's like showing up at a Shiva house. You're showing up there to give the gift of your presence. And maybe if you're on the Zoom Shiva, you can say, I don't come very much. I missed last month, but can you tell me who you're saying Kaddish for? And give the person a chance to share a story. Someone in the congregation told me this year, and I close with this. She said, when I was younger, my mother told me that I should be a therapist. And I said that was crazy because the last thing I wanted to do was sit around hearing other people's stories. Now that I'm older, I think, what is more rewarding? What is there better to do? What is there better to appreciate than listening to other people's stories? As we enter the new year, find the places in yourself that you're ready to sit down and share with others and give the gift of your presence. Where can you give the gift of your presence to others to listen to theirs? Shana Tova.
Good.
As we sit with some of those thoughts, I'm going to invite Jeffrey and Deborah up at this time to share a few pieces to ease us in to the themes of the new year.
Excuse me, dealing with allergies.
Zochreinu l'chaim, melech hafetz v'chaim, v'chazavenu, v'sefer l'chaim, lemancho Elohim chaim. Zochreinu l'chaim, melech hafetz v'chaim, v'chazavenu, v'sefer l'chaim, lemancho Elohim chaim. This one I have to read. Sur Yisroel, Sur Yisroel, Kuma be'ezrat Yisroel, Kuma be'ezrat Yisroel, Go aleinu, Adonai Tzava'ot, Shemo Kidash Yisroel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisroel.
And before you sing the last piece, right, I want to ask people to be able to look at it on the page. So on page 27, by pure coincidence, I believe, you'll see Psalm 27. And as Deborah and Jeffrey are singing, I invite you to read it in English to yourself as they sing the part that is highlighted. As Deborah sings the part, and Jeffrey's invited to any harmonies he feels like. Please rise for Kiddush on page 24. It's fine. It may have been sitting in my office for 2 or 3 years, but otherwise it's fine. Page 24.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol am, v'romanu mikol hashon, v'kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahava, et yom hazikaron hazeh, yom Torah mikra kodesh, Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, u'dvarcha emet ve'kayam la'ad. Baruch atah Adonai, המלך על כל הארץ, מקדש ישראל ויום הזיכרון.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
We may be seated, Ron 28, for the closing song. It's properly aged.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח, ניצב ואין עד אל מציאותו, אחד ואין יחיד כי ייחודו, נעלם וגם מסוף לאחדותו. אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו, קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו. הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו. אלא אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומעביד את תמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעמואל, היה נביאו נאמן ביתו. לא יכל יפעל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו. סופר ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו. גומר לאיש חסד ומפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרשעתו. ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו, לפתור מחכה קץ ישועתו. מתים יחייל רוב חסדו, ברוך ה' עד שם תהילתו.
Let's finish strong.
מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו, ברוך ה' עד שם תהילתו.
Shana Tova. I'll see you at 8:30 tomorrow morning for the beginning of the service. I'll see you at 3:30 p.m. at Gallup Park Playground if you're a young family, or 4 p.m. for a shofar and service and shashlik with Cantor Neil myself at the same place. And on from there. See you at 8:30 in the morning. Shana Tova. Let's go back and have something to eat. And for those who are streaming, treat yourself. It's Rosh Hashanah.